What is up, guys? How are you doing today? It is Scott from DigiDaddies, and I'm here today with a very special deck profile. This is actually the first one that we're going to ever have on the channel, so we wanted to showcase one of the decks that I personally just love. It's not necessarily like a top tier deck, however, it has been doing some pretty nasty damage in our recent tournaments that we've been seeing across the globe and stuff like that. You already know it is a Magnamon X deck profile, but mine does have a little bit of a twist. And if you don't know, then you don't know, but if you've been paying attention a little bit to the meta, then you'll already know. But we're gonna just hop right immediately into it, showing off the Digitama. We're playing Veemon. Now, of course, we're gonna play 4 copies of Veemon. Its inheritable ability is when attacking once per turn. If your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, you get to draw a card. This is super awesome. Now, what our choices kind of are is Upamon, where if you don't have a source, I get to draw a card. Same exact effect, essentially. Then we have Veemon with jamming, so this deck does not actually have jamming, so nothing we gotta really worry about that as far as that goes. And then what other baby do we really have to play, you know? So we're playing 4 copies of Veemon. It's already put in work, it already triggers pretty frequently, so it's awesome. But then moving into the rookies, we are playing 3 jamming Veemons. Unfortunately, I only have 3. If I could have, I would have put a 4th in here. I don't have a 4th. Jamming Veemon is so good for Rookie Rush. It's just essential for the deck. It's power. So next we have 4 of our Searcher Veemons from BT8. On play, look at the top 4, add a 2-color blue card from among them to the hand. The key word here is it doesn't ask for a Digimon, it just asks for a card. So that's very key for what is going to happen later on in the game, or later on in the deck profile. Then we do play 3 of the starter deck top 3 free searchers. I do have a ton of search power in this deck, and I do want to add more search power to this deck. So if I were to make a change, it would probably be jumping between the 2-color blue and the free. There's a few targets in this deck that aren't free, so the free doesn't trigger, but the other Veemon would be able to get, like Magnamon X, for example. So it's I'm a little hesitant on what I actually want. Now, I do happen to run 4 of the memory Veemons. I actually just dropped one. I suck. I'm a horrible host. I apologize. There's the 4th one. I do run 4 of these guys because I want to be able to draw. Or I'm sorry, I want the memory. I want to be able to keep my turns going. I want to be able to keep the pressure going and be able to actually do some damage with everybody and keep it going. Now, I play heavy in the rookie slot. I played 2 more of the draw Veemons. We're not going to activate the warp ability, but it does allow us to draw a little bit more with the inheritable. The reason I run so many damn rookies is because if all else fails, Rookie Rush will succeed. So if I could get them out early, especially these jamming ones, I don't have to worry about them getting killed off, especially since this is Armor Rush. The armor forms are easy targets to get taken out, and then the rest just are, yeah, the rookies are something that I like running a lot of, so I keep a lot of rookies on there. Now, moving into our level 4s, obviously we're running Flamedramon. However, we only have 3 in this deck. I do have 4, I don't want 4 in this deck. Flamedramon's cool and all, don't get me wrong, but the way that this deck works now, especially post BT10, I don't do a lot of Fire Rocket stuff. I'm actually not a big fan of Fire Rocket. It's cool. I feel like we can do more with it, but I don't know, maybe Fire Rocket will get tech back in. If I were to put Fire Rocket back in here, I could pick up a couple cards I'd get rid of, but for now, we're running 3 Flamedramons, just on swing turns into an 8k beater. We do run 4 Lydramons. Flamedramon is such a quintessential piece in this deck. Flamedramon being a blue-green armor form is so important in this deck, and you cannot run anything less than 4. And I'll explain why here in just a few. We are running my boy, this is by far my favorite Digimon of all time, Magnamon. Magnamon's actually what got me into Veemon and the whole Armor Rush thing in general from the movie. So if you guys don't know what Magnamon does, on Digivolution, it unsuspends, and then it gains 2,000 for every armor form in the trash. That plays a very important part. Also, keep in mind, Magnamon is a Royal Knight in its traits. That's going to be something else that we're going to need to worry about. Then, of course, I'm playing pretty garbage. This is a tournament deck, so I do have a hybrid for game. I like Kuma more than Lobo. I like Lobo's design more than Kuma, but I use Kuma because I want to go after those Digivolution sources on some of these Alphamon decks that are out there, or any other deck I might be facing that really does care about what's under its sources. So I have to go after it from there. But those are my level 4s. Moving on to level 5s. I played 2 Paledramon. This guy makes the deck rush. This is why Lightdramon is so damn important. Having Paledramon in here, being able to DNA Digivolve into Paledramon, allows me to bounce something with 6,000 DP back to the owner's deck, which is awesome. Get rid of your memory blockers or your play cost reducers or whatever the case I need to get rid of. Get rid of those weak guys and allow me to just go in. So he's in here, as so is Chimeramon. Same reason. Chimeramon just opens up the floodgate, lets me be able to go in and do a lot of stuff. And because of how many different colors I run in this deck, it's not hard for Chimera to end up being at 4 colors. So Chimera then becomes a 12k beater, and again, another way for me to get over different things. Sometimes we'll even Digivolve over Chimeramon or Paledramon into my 3 copies of Magnamon X Antibody. This is the ace card in the deck. He is the trump card. He is the card that makes this deck work. Now, I did bring an Armor Rush deck into a tournament back when Metal Garurumon was the meta in BT9. This slowed down every single deck I was ever facing against and gave me at least a fighting chance. Now in this meta, in this new deck, this new everything, I feel like I have a lot more of a chance to succeed because of the threat and lethality that this deck can bring to the table. For those of you who don't know, Magnamon X Antibody states, on the opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, if there is a card with armor form in its traits or X Antibody option card in this Digimon's Digivolution source, I may make the target of the attack this Digimon instead, and then at any point when this Digimon would be deleted, instead it goes face down to the top of my security instead. Armor purging, saving the armor form that's below it, or saving my Paledramon or Chimeramon if I decide to Digivolve into it. So it can be kind of a jack-in-the-box, opening up to a bigger threat than what you weren't expecting at the time. Imagine having to deal with Magnamon X, you finally kill it, and then it's a Paledramon that's going to swing twice next turn for game. It's huge. I do want to get a 4th one in here. I don't have a 4th, but 3 still works. It does just fine. Now, this is where the deck goes into the if you know type of thing. This is in BT10 deck profile, meaning we have to run our Jesmon GXs. And okay, someone's gonna ask right now, why is there a black and red Jesmon inside this Armor Rush? What's the stipulation here? Jesmon GX has to Digivolve over a Royal Knight. He doesn't care about the color. He just wants to Digivolve over a level 6 Royal Knight. And if we go ahead and look at our Magna X, he's a Holy Warrior Royal Knight X Antibody. Vaccine, not a free type. So with that being said, Jesmon GX Digivolves 5 from a level 6 with the Royal Knights in its traits. So when Digivolving, I get to take a Royal Knight from my hand and put it underneath as a Digivolution source, and then I activate its Digivolution ability. That is where Magnamon's restand thing matters, and why I was like, hey, Magnamon's a Royal Knight, heads up, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be able to allow me to swing with Magnamon X, Digivolve, put Magnamon into the Digivolution sources, and then unsuspend Jesmon to be able to activate the Blitz. So it'll allow me to get a little bit more. But if we're talking about Jesmon for a moment, we got to understand how big of a threat this guy is. He gains 1 security for every Royal Knight that's in his source. There's plenty of times, and it's very uncommon for me to not swing with 4 security checks on Jesmon GX. That's why part of this deck wants to run so many rookies, is because even though I'm running like Jesmon GX and I'm swinging for 4 security, I need to be able to drop something cheap to be able to wrap the game up at that point, because Jesmon won't be able to beat the kill. He could be if I treat him like a Blitz Omni, but if I wanted a Blitz Omni, I would just put a Blitz Omni in here. Jesmon GX opens the door for other options. So he also gets Piercing and Blocker, but I know what you're thinking. Well, if you do the Blitz thing, what does the blocker have to do? Hold tight, I'll show you guys a combo at the end of the video that's gonna explain a lot of things. Now, this is a tournament deck, right? You got me messed up if you think I'm not right. I did that, come on. I have to. You have to. If you're playing tournament, you have to. I'm not a fan of it. You have to. So I only play one. Now, on to Tamers. We're gonna play 2 Davis. Davis is pretty straightforward. He's a memory tamer, sets this to 3. On play, reveal the top 3, add 1 blue and 1 green Digimon to our hand. Then, and I'm gonna admit this bothers me a lot, then I'm gonna play 3 Davis and Ken. The thing that bothers me is I only have 1 that's not alternate. I'm sorry to be an elitist like that, but it just bothers me. I'm not trying to bling out this deck, but I am. Anyway, so Davis and Ken. This is one of those cards that I told you earlier that's gonna matter. I'll explain the combo again at the very end, but he lets us gain additional memory. If we have Flamedramon or Flamedramon in play and Davis, we're going to 5 memory every turn, giving us a ton of ability to just go off. When your Digimon would Digivolve into a 2-color Digimon, suspend the tamer to unsuspend that Digimon, opens up the door for me to be able to do a little bit more, can help me with the Veemon that will gain memory and stuff like that, so that's the reason I run him. We also have 3 Awakening of the Golden Knights. This is probably one of the cards I would think about take out. Maybe not. Awakening the Golden Knight is something that's very, very required in this deck. So I have to make sure that I have it. If I don't have it, I'm in trouble, and I gotta make sure that I have my P's and Q's. I gotta have my ducks in a row and make sure everything's cool to make sure the deck can be consistent and get me into my Magna X so I can pillow fort up until the point where I play Death X to just take the game, or I go in for game with Jess GX or whatever the case. So I'm running 3 for now. It's really strong. Lets me Digivolve any of my armor forms into a Magnamon card, including Magna X, without paying its Digivolution card costs and ignoring requirements. Then I played 2 Megadeth. I thought about 4. I'm just gonna keep 2. I'm cool with 2. So we're playing 2. We do play 2 Hammer Spark. I'm thinking about taking Hammer Spark out for blue memory boost. I like the little extra search. I just haven't made the actual cut yet, but you know, we'll make the decision later. And then of course we got an Ice Wall. Are you kidding me? Playing Ice Wall while Magna X is on the field is hilarious. So let's go ahead and talk about the combo here. So we're gonna do the combo assuming that we have Davis and, let's say Davis Ken on the board. I don't care what the Digivolution looks like. Whatever. We'll just say we have all that, okay? So, if we have Davis and Ken on board, we have a Veemon, Digivolve into Magnamon, regular Digivolve into Flamedramon, and then Digivolve into Magna X. This is where the deck pops. So, Magna's gonna swing. On swing, hits, does this whole thing, no big deal. Then, for 5, we're gonna Digivolve into Jesmon GX. When this Digivolution happens, we get triggers. We get Jesmon GX's trigger and Davis's trigger at the same time. We'll say Davis Ken. We get Davis Ken and Jesmon's trigger at the same time. So we, as the player and owner, get to decide the priority of which takes effect first. We're going to activate Jesmon's ability first, allowing us to take a Royal Knight and throw it underneath to activate its when Digivolving ability. When this triggers, we activate Magnamon's Digivolution ability. It unsuspends, and then this Digimon gains plus 2k for every armor form in our trash, which in this situation is gonna be a few, just for the sake of the game. So now that that all happened, we're gonna go ahead and swing. Now that we can swing, that's security 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 5 security right there on the dot. Now that 5 security has been dealt, we can then resolve the Blitz ability and stay within the when Digivolving cycle because Blitz has to activate at when Digivolving. We then activate Davis and Ken's when Digivolving to unsuspend Jesmon GX. And I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, okay, then just swing with Jesmon GX, right? No, that's not how Blitz works. Blitz is a when Digivolving once a turn thing. But what this does now is give me blocker. So even though they're gonna swing at me or whatever the case, I have a blocker here. If he gets deleted or de-digivolved, you have a bigger issue that you need to work on. So ultimately, this deck has lethality. This deck opened up a new door to different options for me, and I'm very excited that this is on here. I was looking forward to this deck, and I didn't realize that Jessamon can even be in it. So I had a lot of fun with this since BT8, and I'm excited to just keep this deck going, and hopefully it's gonna keep evolving, keep growing. I love Veemon, Magnamon. So yeah, if you guys like this deck profile and you would like to see more things like this, especially with the combo segment at the end, then please give me a thumbs up, give me a hashtag Magnamon, and give me a Jess for game. Let's go with that, Jess for game. Shout out to Jesse again for letting me borrow the 2 copies of Jessamon needed for this deck while I wait to get my own. And shout out to Joe, part of our team, who's gonna be giving me the 2 that I need, because we team player out here, you know what I'm saying? Anyway guys, if you have any questions, please comment below. I'll go ahead and answer them as we go. And please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more Digimon content. And we're gonna be bringing Digimon videos like this a lot sooner and a lot frequent. And we just have a lot in stock because there's a lot going on, okay? Anyway guys, this is Scott again. We're out of here. Thank you for watching.